guys, welcome to Mad Science Films. I'm Jimmy P, filmmaker and sexual astronaut. And as ever, I'm joined by my illustrated co-host.
James Morrissey, one half of the Mad Science Films team, aka the man with no nickname.
I reckon the illustrated man with no nickname. How's the ink coming along, Jim?
It's getting there. 4th of April's the next one. So
let's have a little sneak preview of what we got so far then, dude.
All right.
We should have planned this better in advance.
Yeah. So they might know this guy.
There we go. There you go.
And then we've got a bit of
My Boy.
Nice. We've got a bit of Fright Night.
Yeah, Freddy.
And that's it. I got Michael up there as well. So
yes, I think we saw that on a previous episode when we were.
Yeah. So expect to see Hellraiser, Return of the Living Dead.
Nice.
And whatever he wants to throw on my arm, then so be it. So yeah.
There you go. Donald Trump in a bikini.
It's not a bad shout. Right, guys. Yes. Before we crack on, please, if you do like this video, then hit the like button. If you've been enjoying the Mad Science content and want to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook. Again, any comments, leave those in the suggestions. Fuck that up. So any comments or suggestions, then leave those in the comment section down below. Let's get on with the show.
Yo, and guys, please check out our 4th feature film for free over on YouTube. Just search for Little Monster or click on the link in the show notes below. This week, we are campaigning again for a forgotten masterpiece of genre cinema to be given the beautiful Blu Ray treatment, and it's James M's choice. Jim, what the good God are you subjecting us to this time?
I think you've brainwashed me with Indonesian fucking classics. So, classics. I mean, that's perhaps a bit of a stretch, but so keeping in that same vein, I've gone for Lady Terminator, aka the Queen of the South Sea. I think it's called, aka. Anyway,
also, aka Nasty Hunter, I saw.
Yes, there's a few AKAs for this one, but Lady Terminator just sounds a lot better. So anyway, so this is the synopsis. The spirit of an ancient evil queen possesses the body of a young anthropological student who then goes on a murderous rampage. Yes.
That's factually true, but I think it leaves out a lot of the flavor, shall we say, of the film.
Yeah, I mean, I get, the whole idea of this show is to watch films and then recommend them for Blu Ray and DVD release. Now, I'm guilty of only seeing the title of, then recommending it, and then watching it. But I think the title alone and some of the outlook I've seen is pretty cool for this film. Yeah. To be honest,
that was my familiarity with the film as well. Apart from the title and some of the poster art, I've been meaning to get around to watching it, but couldn't get hold of a copy until you, Mr. Morrissey, found something.
Yeah, so I had to search the net to find a pretty decent copy, actually. Got to be honest.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. So and I give it a watch. Personally, I enjoyed it. Batshit crazy. Some really quirky special effects, some really good looking shots in the film, if I'm totally honest. Proper of era 80s. Some of the dialogue was absolutely poor yet hysterical. I don't know whether the script was so bad it was funny, or whether there was some type of self-awareness of the fucking mental film they were making. Therefore,
I suspect stuff is because it was clearly filmed in English. Because when they were moving their mouths, it's a little bit synced up. I'm guessing they ADR'd all the dialogue in later, but it did seem to match up with what they were saying.
Yeah,
I'm guessing maybe English wasn't the filmmaker's first language, so I think a certain amount of stuff was lost in translation and just kind of funny, either by the actual script itself or by the delivery, or a bit of both.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff. They actually had a dialogue coach. You looked on the credits, so they probably.
Oh, I didn't pick that.
And there was some coaching going on, but whether it quite didn't work out, I'm not too sure.
I think they need to go back to summer school for that.
Yeah. But that added a nice little flavor to the film as well. Just seeing that ADR going over the top, and it was just fun. I mean, obviously, so as you can imagine, this is a Indonesian kind of folklore, kind of ancient story.
The Queen of the South Seas.
But clearly, they love the Terminator, so they've taken out all the sci-fi elements and replaced it with this supernatural kind of elements, just to kind of. I don't know what they were thinking. It was meant
that Indonesian flavor, I think, man.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of films like from Indonesia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, where they've kind of taken this old mythology and kind of grafted it onto other storytelling things.
Yeah.
There was Child of Peach, which kind of had some Superman Jesus vibes to it. I watched another one recently, which if I can find a better copy, I'm going to recommend, called Thrilling Bloody Sword, which is like a Hong Kong film retelling of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but with more kung fu.
Wow.
And yeah, I absolutely loved Lady Terminator. I was expecting just a straight ahead ripoff, but yeah, they kind of remade some key scenes of the Terminator, sometimes shot for shot. But managed to graft on this mythology to it, which again I did a bit of research because I was kind of like, a lot of this didn't make sense to me at all. And I mean, there were bits where, like in the prologue, I mean, it was only when I did some reading up when it was just like, there's that white guy who's she kind of says, is there no man that can satisfy me? And then this white guy turns up in the next shot and it's like, and then clearly he does. But then he stops her from having the snake come out and.
I think that should be mentioned. Yeah, so you see earlier on that the Sea Queen, she likes to kill these, because the whole idea of the mythology of the Sea Queen is she was like this mermaid goddess that would had this obviously hunger for young fishermen, so she'd often take them from the sea. So she's a bit of a fucking man-eater, literally. She likes to hide this sea serpent up a snatch, who then would then piss on their chips as she's making love to them by eating their penises, I'm guessing, and then
that's what it looked like.
Yeah. So and then this white guy comes along, snatches sea serpent's dagger from her vagina.
That was a bit that I was a bit like, okay, so he pulls the snake out between her legs, it turns into a dagger, or he turns it into a dagger, and then he kind of, she said something like, oh, you're my husband, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't pick up on that at all. But what I'm guessing is it's part of the Indonesian mythology, so I'm guessing the local audiences for this film would have been more familiar with it, and perhaps, so it's like when any Western film decides to do something with the Christ story, the Christ myth, it doesn't have to be explained because we're all so familiar with it. So I'm guessing it's somewhat to do with that. But yeah, for Western audiences, maybe whoever put this out on Blu Ray, a little booklet might be handy with the South Sea Queen myth in there.
It'd be nice to have an expert on the subject to have a little chat with us before the film starts, to go, by the way, these are the blanks which I'm going to fill in for you. But it was just fucking crazy and so unpredictable. And I quite enjoyed watching the film and anticipating or waiting to see which scenes from Terminator they would kind of replicate. Definitely the bathroom scene with the eye removal. That was quite cool.
And on the police headquarters, that was shot for shot, and I was fully on board with it. Do you know what I'm gonna say? In some ways, it's better than Terminator.
Ooh, hello.
Okay, because I mean, don't get me wrong, Arnie, Man Mountain, very impressive. But the visuals of the lead actress, Barbara Ann Constable, right? In like a leather jacket with spikes, sometimes a leather miniskirt, sometimes leather trousers, with an M16 machine gun firing away.
Didn't it? Just like
she was, I mean, brilliant. I've done again. There's an interview out there which we'll put in the links below with her, done in 2010. It was pretty much her only film. There was another film she did before this where she had a small role in it, and it was a Chinese film, and she couldn't remember the title of it because it was in Chinese,
Mm.
and it's not listed on IMDb. So this is pretty much her only film. But the visuals of her with this amazing 80s bouffant hair,
Mm.
a
Oh,
machine
it's
gun
yeah.
in leather, and she knows what she's doing. Like she talks about the fact that they all had weapons training. It's really convincing, and I would say easily she's the best actor in the film. And at the time, I would say she's actually a better actor than Arnie was in The Terminator, because bearing in mind, The Terminator was one of his, not his earliest, but one of his earlier flicks.
Yeah.
So the visuals of that were amazing, and like much more sex scenes than The Terminator. And again, all ending graphically horribly with blood spurting up the guy's face as this very attractive lady is grinding up on top of him. So
I think she did her own stunts, didn't she? And then I think she had a shard of glass going her ankle or something. She was off for a few months. That to postpone shooting. Yeah. And I think she's from London, is she?
I think Australia originally, or at least she was
living in Australia. Danced there or something, I've read.
Right, possibly.
Yeah.
She was an Australian penthouse model, which again would explain, why she was very much in shape. Very attractive young lady. Yeah, I've got to say, it was a pleasure watching her in the action scenes and otherwise. There was a lot of penile trauma in this film. I mean, you had the what they call the vagina dentata, the biting off, the regular dentata, and then there were bits later on where she was just firing a machine gun into guys' dicks, and I was just like,
He's actually there's such a funny moment where I think it's just after the police station she shoots the shit out, and then there's this cop. He kind of falls. I think she speaks to him and says, like, where's Erica or something like that. And then he's like, ugh. So she shoots him like full on close up with the machine gun. And just before she walks away, she kicks him in the balls.
Yeah.
It
is. I mean, like,
man, it's a hard one.
But I'm fairly sure one of the other titles, if they wanted to re-release it, and particularly a new film, Destroy All Dicks would be a suitable title as well, because
Dick Destroyer. That's probably a porno. But
but that's what I love. So I think you put it really well, Jim. Like, it strips off all the sci-fi stuff. And so instead of an android, we had this goddess who possesses a snake, who then possesses this anthropological student. And there's a necklace, which, to be honest, I tuned out at that point. I mean, that just seemed like one MacGuffin too far. It was a reason to chase after this pop star. So we had loads of musical numbers, which again, Terminator didn't have. There was, honestly, like, we could do a whole commentary worth of what the fuck moments. But it did, at no point did it actually sabotage the entertainment value of the film. Like, it's 80 minutes. It's great fun. There are so many what the fuck moments, but those just help spice up what underneath is actually still an entertaining film in terms of the action. They don't skimp on the action. And again, like,
really
Terminator, like the climax of Terminator didn't have armored trucks and helicopters with rocket launchers in it. So, one for Jaleel Jackson and 0 for Jimmy Cameron on that scale, so it was.
It didn't skimp, did they? No. There was multiple in their car chase scenes. They changed cars like 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? Just throwing people out. I need to kind of lend your car off your pop. So that must have cost a fortune. Multiple cars they used, but
actually, I suppose the only thing that they did skimp on, and it kind of makes sense, was like Terminator has the Terminator vision, which is red all over, and the heads-up display stuff.
Yeah.
And this one was just kind of foggy with a red fog around the edge, and it was just that's and quite out of focus. I'm not sure that was intentional or not.
I think some of the out of focus was just pure accident. I think. No, it's the kind of film I would own on Blu Ray and watch over and over again. Yeah,
it's one of those ones. A, you can watch by yourself because it's just entertaining.
Yeah.
But B, it would make a great get some friends around, get some beers, get a pizza in, put it on, and they're all going to be entertained. So it's, I can't believe, considering a lot of the other films that have already been put out by some labels that probably will turn up in our recommendations, I'm surprised this one hasn't already had a release. Because yeah, the copy we saw is in pretty good nick. I'm guessing that was a DVD rip.
I think there's a US DVD release of it.
Yeah,
just the US DVD release, but no Blu-rays and no UK Blu-ray or DVD. So, which is a shame because, and also it's a good looking film. So it's nice to be a nice restored.
Absolutely.
So yeah, good fun.
All righty. So, one thing I do want to also talk about, which again puts it above Terminator in my eyes at least, is that the Carl Reese character, who is just a cop in this, he's got like some old army buddies, I think. I mean, it wasn't quite clear. Tom and Snake. And Snake has got, like next to Pat Sharp, the most amazing mullet I've ever seen. So if you want a Pat Sharp lookalike running around with what looks like an AK-47 in an armored truck, trying to kill a possessed prostitute-looking lady, this is your movie. Also,
that mullet was quite impressive.
At the end of Terminator, again, spoilers if you haven't seen Terminator, but what the hell are you doing watching this? The bit at the end where all the flesh is burnt off and it's the robot skeleton. So their version of this is obviously she gets blown up like a million different ways, and it's like this zombie demon looking thing with laser eyes that manages to helicopters and all that stuff.
That just got in the way, didn't it?
I was amazing, but again, it was kind of like, okay, well, we can't do the skeleton thing, so what could we do?
But that's what I was thinking. I was waiting for, right, what are they going to do with this? Like, which way are they going to go with it?
And it was never underwhelming, because a lot of the time you think on these rip-off films, they're like, well, we can't do that, so we just won't do that. We'll just blow her up and that'll be it. They did escalate it in the same way that the Terminator escalated it, but within the own mythology that they stole or created for this film. So yeah, good one, Jim.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Cool. So Jimmy, who's the best Blu-ray DVD label that we can think of to put this bad boy out?
I mean, I've gone for two that do a lot of horror and kind of foreign films. So I think the Criterion and House Films, and 88 Films definitely needs to get on this, definitely. And Arrow kind of covered a lot of bases, I think, but definitely 88 films. I could see. I mean, some of the artwork is fantastic as well.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want to see like a booklet of the artwork of this.
Like here, as definitely. Yeah, I had 88 Films. Absolutely, I think it's the right time period. They're big on Asian cinema as well. Weird cult oddities like that. Yeah, it fits well within their wheelhouse. So yeah, no, definitely good call, man. Okay, Jim. So they've followed our advice. They've watched Lady Terminator. What are they going to follow this up with?
Well, if you like seeing women chew cocks with their vaginas, then maybe check out Teeth.
Sure. I was wondering where you were going with that, but thank you.
Bit of a stretch, but just in case that is that does tickle your fancy. There's also two films which I think we could possibly, I can try and find and maybe we could review. It's another film by Mr. Jackson himself, and it's called Satan's Bed. Now, this looks fantastic. This is not the Terminator he's doing A Nightmare on Elm Street. So, and it looks really cool. I've not seen the film, but I've tried to watch clips online and stuff. It's something that I'm definitely interested in trying to track down. So definitely do that.
Absolutely, man. Let's track that down. I think, I mean, having watched Lady Terminator, I definitely want to see what else he can do, especially if it's remaking Western films, definitely. So
the second recommendation is another Indonesian film set in the 80s. And it's a I Spit on Your Grave kind of film. So a revenge film. Very violent, a lot of horrible scenes. And it's called Lady Exterminator. AKA, I Want to Get Even. That's on YouTube. So that's another one I'll bring your way too. So again, woman kicking ass of a similar title. So yeah, it's my two recommendations.
Nice. Yeah, we'll be checking those out. I really struggled with recommendations. I was like, okay, which road do we go down? So I've kind of gone for a couple of mine, like what the fuckness. So some previous film recommendations that we've done. So I think Boy God has some similar crazy stuff in it, and Child of Peach, as I talked about. Those are the kind of things which like jumble up, like Eastern mythology with Western genre stuff. RoboVampire, which Jim, I think I know you've seen this as well. It was on Prime Video for a while. It kind of, and very poorly, mixes up RoboCop with like the Jiangxi, so the Chinese vampire kind of stuff. The posters, which I'll drop here, just don't judge it on the poster, because the poster is amazing and it's not quite like we can't afford RoboCop. So it's kind of like, instead of RoboCop, somebody in like a paintball outfit meant to be RoboCop. So there's that. And the other one I'm going to go with in terms of just pulpy goodness is Demons. And that was really in that last segment when, like the attractive exterior of Barbara Ann Constable is burnt off. The demon thing underneath had very, Lamberto Bava Demons vibes. So just check out Demons. I think that would be a really fun double bill as well. Loads of what the fuck moments with Tony the Pimp, and all that kind of stuff. The movie within the movie, fun. Chaos in a cinema. So yeah. So those are my picks.
Cool.
Okay, cheers, guys. So have you guys seen Lady Terminator? If so, what did you guys think? Are there any other films that you think would go really nicely with Lady Terminator? Or are there any other films that you just think we should check out and campaign for a Blu Ray release? And Jim, what else can these beautiful people do?
Please like and subscribe. Stalk us on Facebook. Any comments, leave them down below. And time. Thank you and goodbye.